the pressure on. Shut the enemy down. I need a hunter like you with the red jacket. What can stop you if you fight together? Nothing. Relax, Guardian. You're scaring them. They'll never want to match with you again. Zone C lost.
Good morning, good afternoon and good day everybody. David here, and in today's video it's going to be quite a quick one really, just breaking down 3 builds, one for each class, that I think is going to be fire next week when the anniversary DLC thing drops. We're going to be looking at subclass choices, bearing in mind the new cooldown rates and stuff that are going to happen, as well as exotics for each character to use, and then also just looking over some perks to just fun out the build overall, perks on weapons and on your armour, and also exotic weapon pairings that will just make these builds like ridiculously good. And yeah, hopefully you try these out, hopefully they'll be ace. There's still a level of uncertainty to this, but this is just with my knowledge of the game and the stats and stuff that Bungie have already given us in the 12. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start off with the hunter. So most people straight off the bat would gravitate towards the flux grenade. This is going to become a one-hit kill now, as you probably know. Most of the community is either loving this or hating it already. I think if you are going to go down this path, bottom tree is probably the best, mainly for combat meditation. So whilst critically wounded, melee and grenades recharge faster. And then with focused breathing as well, sprinting recharges your dodge. If you're rocking double bomber, you'll be able to dodge more often and therefore get your grenades back more often. It could be quite fun, but I think there's going to be a far better build available, and that is actually with the Night Stalker subclass, rocking the Omnioculus. So this is going to be focused around bottom tree. So with lockdown, your grenade effects last twice as long, which is awesome. Several of these grenades are already the best in the game in my opinion. Vortex, Spike and Void Wall all do incredible damage and are great for just zoning off areas and stopping people from pushing. Vanishing Smoke, throw a smoke bomb from a distance making you and nearby allies invisible, and provides a Heart of the Pack buff. The Heart of the Pack buff grants weapon haste, so that means your weapon's ready faster. With weapons being more prevalent now, going into the anniversary, being able to swap weapons and stuff faster is, in my opinion, even more important. And then you get increased mobility, recovery and resilience on top of that. So this could allow you to spec into your other stats more, therefore try and get your discipline and your strength up to tier 10 maybe. Combat Precision, so damaging enemies with a grenade grants melee ability energy, and making allies invisible grants grenade energy. So this is the most important perk with this build. There's so much synergy here. Making your allies invisible grants you grenade energy. As you can see here, as I make my teammate invisible, how much grenade energy I get back. And this is at tier 3 grenade energy, which in the TWAB Bungie mentioned that tier 3 is like the base, so anything below 3 actually you see losses, so your grenades and stuff come back slower than what they do at base. Then anything above 3 speeds it up. And then you can see in this gameplay, when I'm hitting this enemy with a grenade, how much of my melee energy I'm getting back. I almost get the full thing back, which is just ridiculous. How this pairs with Omnioculus really well. The Omnioculus gives you 2 smoke bomb charges. So if you make all your allies invisible, say if you're in a 3v3, and then you make them all invisible again, you'll have your grenade back if you needed it immediately. Also, by dodging near people, you'll get your melee back, so there's a faster way of getting your smoke back if you need to. Being invisible makes it very easy to get closer to people to then dodge to get it back. Omnioculus also gives you damage resistance whilst you're invisible. As you know, this season the Stag Helmet has been ridiculously popular, and the Stasis crystals with the damage resistance you get from being near your crystals has always been popular since Beyond Light came out as well. So anything that gives you like health back or reduces the amount of damage you take is always super popular. And on top of that, you're able to make your allies have damage resistance as well when they're invisible, and it gives you melee energy. So then you gain melee energy from this and the grenade energy back from the tree itself. So this is going to be super popular, and I believe on the Firing Range podcast, members of Bungie have already stated that Omnioculus is going to be just next level. A Void Tree also is good to get used to, because come Witch Queen, Void 3.0 will come back, which will then push this, I believe, to the next level and make it even more ridiculous. So I would definitely keep an eye out for this. Now for the Titan, again, sort of two suggestions I have for this. One is more of a build, the other is just something I anticipate, especially come Witch Queen, is going to be top tier. So let's do the latter one first. Bubble Titan is going to be incredible. So come the anniversary pack, top tree is going to be lumped in with middle and bottom tree with how quickly the super comes back. I believe it's going to be in tier 2 because it counts as a roaming super, just because you can choose between the bubble and the roaming. The Bungie have said, come Witch Queen, bubble itself is going to become a separate thing, and then it's going to immediately move up to tier 5, so the fastest super. That is going to be ridiculous. Being able to make orbs for your teammates so they can get their supers faster, and also being able to use it to zone off like midpoint in a trials match or something, it's going to be top tier for sure. On top of that, having suppressor grenades is even more ridiculous. Imagine waiting several minutes for your flux grenade to come up. You finally got it, you finally got that chance to get a one-hit kill, and then you get suppressed and you can't use it and then you get taken out in a trials match or something instantly. This is amplified even more for supers, because you lose your super entirely if you're hit by a suppressor grenade. So again, imagine rocking a tier 1 super, you've spent I don't know how many minutes waiting for your super to finally arrive, and then you get knocked out of it instantly by a suppressor grenade. Bungie have said, in theory, you should only get 1 super per match now, maybe 2 if you're absolutely fragging out. If you lose that super, that's going to be devastating for your team. So I think suppressor grenades are going to be huge. Because of that, Armamentarium will be great for this build. So you've always got a spare grenade, spare suppressor grenade to use in case any supers do pop. Now, the actual build for Titan that I wanted to point out is actually bottom tree with the insurmountable school fort. So, with this helmet, kills with your arc melee ability trigger health regen and restore your melee energy. With bottom tree, your melee already gives you health regen. That part doesn't matter as much, but getting your melee back instantly is huge, because frontal assault now, Bungie have said, and I believe it was in the TWAB, that you won't be able to proc frontal assault like again and again. You'll hit someone with your melee, you'll lose your melee, proc frontal assault. If you melee someone again afterwards, you won't be able to proc it unless you have your actual melee charge there. So now, this helmet, I believe you'll be able to get your melee back instantly, and therefore be able to proc frontal assault more often. This perk is one of the best perks in the game, as it reloads your weapon, gives you a massive boost in weapon stability and weapon damage. As I said for the Hunter, weapon performance is going to come to the forefront now. But anything that improves your weapon, both time to kill wise and just ease of use and how good it feels to use, it's going to be top tier. Now for the Warlock, and I must admit this is already one of my favourite builds to use in the game and it's going to become even more ridiculous, I believe, come the Anniversary DLC. And this is Middle Tree Well of Radiance. So this tree is going to be moved up to tier 5, Before Witch Queen, it's going to be the only tier 5 super, so it's going to come back the fastest out of everything. Again, much like the Titan bubble, you'll be able to make a load of orbs and chain supers for the rest of your team then, so it becomes super valuable in a situation like Trials. Being able to get mid-map control and be able to get control of the point, like this is top tier and it's definitely going to become very popular in Trials. Whilst you're in your Well of Radiance, as you can see here, you are completely immune to Stasis, so Shatter Dive won't kill you, even in the current meta. Granted, come the anniversary, a Shatter Dive won't instant kill you anyway, but this counts for all Stasis usage, so you can see here, even a Silence and Squall can't kill you in the Rift. But note, and this is useful for those hunters that still plan to use Silence and Squall as well, the Hunter super hits the sword itself in the middle of the Rift, it can instantly destroy it. So if the Warlock is stood next to it, they will instant die because the Rift instant dies and therefore you have no protection anymore. So if you're a Warlock, take note to stand away from the sword so you have time to escape if the sword does die. And also take note, if you're a Hunter, aim for the sword to instantly get rid of the Rift. So this class pairs terrifically with the Boots of the Assembler. So standing in a healing rift creates Noble Seekers, they seek out and heal your enemies. Standing in an empowering rift grants Noble Seekers that then give your allies a damage boost. Each Noble Seeker finds one of your allies, the duration of your rift is briefly extended. So you can make your rift last longer and give your teammates either a free healing buff or a free damage buff. Again, that will then improve your weapons performance for both you and your team. So this setup, like I said already, is ridiculous. It also allows you to rock 100 recovery still because your rift is tied to the recovery stat, which is still going to be the most important stat. And then if you're rocking like 100 discipline as well, you'll be able to get it back so quickly, especially if you're using the Firebolt grenades. So they're going to come back the fastest anyway. You should be able to get 3 of these for every flux grenade that comes up. And with this tree, if you click and hold the grenade button, you can then convert your grenade into a healing grenade, which will also provide an overshield for you and your allies. Then that frees you up to rock the empowering rift, so you can give a damage buff to all of your teammates. You've then got the fastest super coming back, which makes you immune to like Stasis. So there's just a lot of synergy here, and again across all 3 characters and all 3 builds, it's not really included all of the perks like Bomber and like the Stasis ones, the kickstart ones and whatnot. Granted, they are all getting nerfs, but if you're making an ability build, they're just going to be even more valuable because they're still going to make a difference. Now let's talk about some weapon perks and some exotic weapons in particular that are going to make all these builds just next level come the anniversary stuff. First of all, Thresh. I know a lot of people have already started talking about this. Getting kills gives you more super energy basically. Any weapon that has Thresh on it. I know the Palindrome can get it. Also things like this Wretched Futurist, more like shotguns and special weapons can get it as well. If you're making a build that evolves around just getting your super back as fast as possible, this is going to be top tier for sure. Another perk for just ability builds in general is Wellspring. So this gives you ability energy on kills, and that energy is divided between your uncharged abilities. So if you've only got one ability that's charged up, say if it's your grenade, this will then be split equally between your melee and your class ability. Therefore, if you've got all 3 gone, this will be split between all 3, or if you've only got 1 gone, it will be solely focused on that one ability. It's something where you won't really notice it happening, but it will just help overall with your abilities coming back faster. Personally, I much prefer using the Traveler's Chosen if you were going for a ability build. Now this is an exotic weapon, so you will lose your exotic slot, and if you don't have this weapon, I believe it's available in the kiosk under the Shadowkeep tab. So you may need to own Shadowkeep to even be able to get this. So Wellspring's the sort of free to play option, if you will, but this is the better option if you can get it. So final blows with this weapon grants a buff called Gathering Light. You consume that buff, it grants you melee, grenade and class ability energy. This is getting a slight nerf come the anniversary. So currently, if you get a kill, it gives you a 3 stack straight away, and that is roughly a third of your energy back for each one of your abilities. That is going to change to just a 2 stack after the anniversary launches, so you'll probably need to get 2 kills for every 1 kill you would get now. However, this is a terrific sidearm. The base stats are ridiculous, and you don't consume that buff, it makes the weapon even more ridiculous, so it gets a massive boost in reload, handling and aim assist. So it's quite easy to chain double kills with this weapon anyway. So I still believe this is going to be top tier and just a terrific option for any ability build that you want to do. Another terrific option for grenade builds specifically is obviously Demolitionist. Again, people are already started talking about this. But getting kills with a weapon that has this perk on it just gives you more grenade energy. This is available on a wide range of weapons. It's been in the game quite a long time. But one of my favourite weapons is actually this Judgment that has it on. And this also rolls with something like Opening Shot. So this makes it ridiculously consistent. Just a very good hand cannon. That will also give you your grenades back faster. So again, if you're rocking something like the Flux Grenade that's a one-hit kill, I think this is going to be top tier, and you will also get the boost in weapon performance because of Opening Shot. Another combination that's available now on a select few weapons, but particularly on this Judgment, is Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie combo. The Adrenaline Junkie is getting a buff come the anniversary, and that buff is going to make it effectively like Swashbuckler. So you get a kill with a grenade, it's going to go to ×5 straight away. I believe that's going to be like a 55% damage buff, something like that. But more importantly, you're going to get stack 1, stack 2, stack 3 and so on after each kill with the weapon, much like Swashbuckler is now. So that's going to make it so you can get up to ×5 just based on the weapon alone. Each kill you're getting is granting you more damage but also more grenade energy because of Demolitionist. And then when you get a grenade kill, you will then get ×5 straight away, doing even more damage. That is going to be a killer combo on a hand cannon that's already great, so I would recommend grinding for one of these now. Now let's look at exotic weapons. We've already looked at the Traveler's Chosen. Monte Carlo is going to be a beast. It's already very good. 600 round autos are still good, even though they got nerfed a few seasons ago. Dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown, so it doesn't have to be kills, just damage. Kills grant more energy though, and when you get a kill, you also get like a Swashbuckler type effect, so you can stack up damage from kill to kill. Also getting a melee kill will boost the damage a ridiculous amount because of Markov chained. It's just going to be top tier for any melee build that you have. I think of the Omnioculus thing, or the item build with Frontal Assault is going to be top tier. And with high caliber rounds as well, you're going to be flinching people a lot. It's just an all-round great weapon that's going to see even more use, I believe. Juju is also going to be a very tempting offer. Now granted, this particular archetype of pulse is I believe the lightweight frame, which are the sort of weakest frames of the pulse rifles. However, you get increased damage from kill to kill, and that also refills the magazine. And most importantly, it grants you super energy based on the strength of the string of curses like buff. So the more kills you're chaining together, the more super energy you're going to get, and obviously the more damage you're going to do from kill to kill as well. If you have the catalyst, which I haven't finished on this, that extends the duration of the string of curses as well, so that makes it even easier to chain kills and be able to get your super back as fast as possible. And then to end on something that's just going to be really funny is the tractor cannon. Now this isn't getting a buff in any way. However, much like I talked about with the suppressor nades earlier, being able to suppress someone and make them lose their super is going to be even more of a blow for the enemy team. So being able to just boop someone with this is going to be just ridiculously fun. and yeah, just devastating for them. They're probably going to lose the only super they were going to have for that match, so definitely consider using this in your heavy slot because it is just going to be hilarious. So that will do it for the video, guys. Like I said, pretty basic, just running through some stuff that I believe is going to be either really fun or really deadly come the anniversary launch next week. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be super refreshing. A mid-season sandbox change like this doesn't happen very often, so it's definitely going to bring a whole new life to the game. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, hopefully you've learned something, and hopefully one of these builds has tempted you or given you something to grind for the next week until the anniversary launches. If you have enjoyed the video, a like is super appreciated, and also feel free to subscribe. I do all sorts of videos like this, breaking down different builds and different weapons and whatnot, so hopefully you'll learn something from them as well. Take care, stay safe, keep up the grind, and I shall see you all very soon indeed. Bye, bye.